Hello everyone, this is Shelby with Shelby Creations. Welcome back to the Dragon's Den and a very messy desk that I have. So recently I've been working on some of my, what I call Jack the Rippers, because they rip tape. And I have a few crafty friends that said they wanted some, so I was making these. But the outside, what I put on them is this aluminum duct tape that HVAC AC heater guys use on your ductwork. And it's a metal tape that is, it has the paper backing and it is sticky. So I love working with it. But I found out by rewatching a few of the ladies that I've been watching for years, and one of them did embossing on it, and I had a bunch of little squares left over that I had cut off. And this tape is a little pricey. I don't want to say expensive, but it is pricey, and I don't like to waste it. So what I did was I just rounded the corners on each one of them, and I was thinking, well, it's got to be something else. So I pulled out my embossing folders, and look at these. Aren't they gorgeous? And I did not use my Big Shot. My Big Shot is actually on the shelf, top shelf, and we all know those things are heavy. So what I did was I went through my embossing folders and move these out of the side. I don't have a lot. I only have what's in these two books and the books I made, and they're in little individual, the plastic envelopes, the ones like this here that you get at the Dollar Tree. They come like 3 to a package. They've got a snap on them, and all I did was, this one here actually holds maps. All I did was cut down each side of that snap, and it left me with a pocket. So then, measuring out the size of my embossing folder and determining the size I wanted to make, for my pocket, I simply ran it through my binding machine, and with some heavy duty cardstock or chipboard, I just made simple folders out of it. And that's what holds my embossing folders. So let me show you how this works. This one goes back in here somewhere. I'll find it. I'll pull out one, and I leave the flap up. That way I know where these go back into. See if I can find a place to scoot those over with. Now, I'm not sure you can actually see what's on here, but it's a fairy with the little door and stuff. But there's a flower right here that I think I would like to get on one of these little squares. So what you need to do is open it up, and then I'll simply place that where I want it. I don't want so much of her face as I do as much of the flower as I can get. So we're just a touch. Now, I'm going to close that up. I'm going to take my bone folder, and all you do, you have to make sure you go over every little line, bump, everything that's down there. And you'll be able, you can't see it on camera, but as you do it, you can see where it's starting to go in and out those crevices. Holding it still, turn it over, and then do the opposite side. Now, hold it a little snug when you turn it over, because you don't want these to move on you. Now, bring that over again. I'm going to go over this one more time, just for good measure. just to make sure I've gone over every little line. You apply a little bit of force, you know, it's not a light rubbing. And then lift it up, and there it is. I love the way that turned out. So, back in my folder. Put this one right back in here. And one of the other ones that I've got out here was this one here. And this is simply flowers and paisley. Well, if I can get the thing open. There we go. They sometimes tend to stick. I think I did one of these already. See which one. I got that flower. I think what I'm going to do is, I think we'll put it sort of, kind of there. I want a paisley, but I also want that flower. Don't think I'm going to get both. So, let's just do it this way. Put that there. Lay that down. And then come back, and it's a firm pressure you're putting on this. But this foil tape works great for embossing. Do that side, flip it over, do the back, good. Flip it over one more time, go over that front just one more time. We'll lift it up, and there we go. Now, they do not take ink very well, except for the StazOn. StazOn will do some inking to it. So if you're looking for something old metallic looking, this may not be what you want. See, my embossing folder goes right back in there. Now, where the cut line, all I simply did and close that was the clear packaging tape. That's all that is. And then I labeled each one as to what it was. It's a tree, window. I think I see one in here. Then I put a simple closure on them. And they fit on my shelf. And yes, I've got the tag that goes on there. Let's see what I have in this one. I've got two more I can do. And this is just using up the scraps I had. That one's damask. Flourish corner. I did that one already. Don't want honeycomb. Those are the edges. I mean, with it being Christmas, you could certainly do, let's do one of these. Because Christmas is coming up. Notice I leave my flap open. Because I want to know where to put them back into. Open that up and find whichever snowflake I want to get hold of. Let's go right down here to the bottom. Well, that's not quite gonna reach. Do those. It'll do these. Definitely. So, I'll close that up. And then burnish, burnish, burnish. Making sure I get all the little bits and pieces to those snowflakes. Let me turn it over. And come back this way. I was talking to a friend last night. It was down in the low 30s where she's at. I know some of y'all have already had snow. Look how pretty that is. But here in North Carolina, we very seldom get snow. It's not that we don't. We just don't get a whole lot. Except that once in a decade type thing. Yeah. Last time we had it, it was a mess to try to drive through. Oh, here's a good one. And it's just a piece of script. So I'll lay that on there. And I found out if you want it centered, it's easier doing it from the back side than it is from the front when you first you first position it. Now with these here, with the inking on the top, it's really hard to see how much you've got done when you do your burnishing. All the way through there. Come back this side, do it one more time. I want to make sure I get all the way to that edge there. And then there we go. So it's just a little something quick and easy you can do. And like I said, if you use the metal tape, it's one way to use up your little scraps. Okay. I'm not sure how this is going to take the ink, and I've only used the Versamark or Saison, those permanent ones. So let's see if these do anything. Yeah, walnut stain. My puppy is shedding something crazy, and I'm finding hairs all over the place. Now, this is not doing much in the way of inking. So, yeah, it didn't really do anything. So, not with that one. But I think, let me see what I have in. Oh, I have some archival ink. And I need another $1 for this. Black soot, ground espresso. Let's try the ground espresso. Let's see how this does. Me find. Oh, yes, the clocks. That's not going to come up on that too good. So let's just do it this way. That way it does work, but you have to remember that this is metal, so you're going to need to leave it a bit to dry. Not bad. I was just evening out those smudge marks. So that's not too bad. But it does need to dry or else it will smudge. So that's pretty good. I don't know if I can go over it with, it's even going to show that way. Not really. But we have, I wonder if do I have any, yeah, I got my other set. Thought I had 2 cases of these. we're going to do the red on the snowflakes. And yeah, I'm putting it down a little bit heavy. But it's really kind of hard to get it to where that's not it. Here's a clean one. Now all I'm going to do is just move this around a little bit, not so I don't have so much of the dark color as because I just want a tint of the red. And there. So the archival inks do work. Like I said, you do need to let them dry thoroughly before you go further. So I need to mark this one and these two, because these two I used. And what I do on the back is I put the little label things like WS for walnut stain. This one here is VP for vintage photo. So I'll mark these two, put those aside. But yeah, not too bad. And I've got, I'm missing a sticker because I thought I had 8. Oh yeah, there it is. See, there was another strip that I did down the center. So not too bad for playing around. So if you have any of this kind of tape laying around, or if your husband has it in the garage and you can sneak out and snitch a piece or some of it, or even if you know someone who works in the air conditioning heating business, they may have some. And if you just want to try it, they may cut you, like a foot or so. And, just to give it a try. It is a little pricey, and I got one roll. I purchased 2 rolls. One I got at Home Depot. The other I got at Lowe's. So they are available. And they were like, anywhere from $15 to $18 for the roll. And there's a lot on this thing. I've had this one for 2 years. Yeah, that's how long I've had this one. And when I make things like the boxes, like this one here that I have all my, I can't think of words today. I have my tweezers and all my scissors, my pokey tool, my pen. I've got all those in there. But when I first put it together and these joints, I use this tape on. Then I go back over with paper on a lot of the boxes that I do. And if it's a thinner box, or if I know sometimes if I can't get a hold of this right readily because someone in the house has snitched it, like my son, I will use the tie-back tape. But you can't do things like this with tie-back tape. So it's good to have multiple types of adhesive. And what I have, like this here, I had a piece, my very first roll was maybe a yard or so left on the core from a friend of mine that was installing an AC unit. He had some on his truck. He was cleaning out his truck. He says, hey, do you want this? Can you use this for anything? There's a little bit left. There's not much for a job. And I said, sure. And after that, I purchased 2 more rolls. So it does go a long way. The tie-back tape, I got that also from Home Depot. That's a little pricey, but for how much you use, it will last you a long, long time. So look at other sources other than craft stores and stuff for some of your supplies. Be surprised what's out there. But all of these are just from this metallic tape. And now you've got another little thing you can make and put in your stash box. See if these, you find a clean finger. These are dry yet. Alright, that one's already dry. That's how quick it dried. This one here, this one's almost dry. So I'll put that one on top. Doesn't take long. So 8 stickers just from scraps. If you like what I've shared with you today, give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button because you'll never know what's coming out next from the Dragon's Den. Bye, guys.